In a world where the blueprint to human connection seems to be disintegrating, where the foundations of love, compassion, and understanding are overshadowed by ideologies that preach manipulation or naive optimism, the quest for authentic and fulfilling relationships appears right now to be an uphill battle. We are at a crossroads. We're caught between forces that push us towards either total disillusionment or naive hope. Neither of those is going to offer a true solution to the craving for real human connection that so many people are feeling. So right now, let's toss out the trash pills and get you results. I'm about to show you a new dating process that's going to get you the love you want with a partner that you can trust. Even if you have lost your hope, this process will make it simple to find the real person that you're looking for. Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. I am Adam Lane Smith, and today we're about to embark on a revolutionary journey. We're going to reshape the very foundations of dating and relationships. It's going to be great. In a world clouded with confusion and misguided ideologies, I'm here to guide you toward a path that not only promises genuine connections, but cultivates a breeding ground for love that can last a lifetime. Yes, you heard right. In 2023, as I'm recording this, you can build a love that thrives, nurtures, and grows, that defies the adversities that modern society throws at us, and can last a lifetime. Now, if you've been feeling lost in the chaotic currents of modern dating and you're frustrated with advice that seems shallow and misleading, today I'm going to present you with a refreshing perspective. This is an approach that combines wisdom, realism, and authentic connection, something I like to call the clear pill approach. It's about dating smarter, not harder. It's about fostering connections that are grounded in reality and mutual respect, as opposed to, let's say, manipulation or unfounded optimism. Now, in the background of our conversation lies the striking revelations from the mouse Utopia experiment that I've talked about before. That's a grim portrayal of social decay that mirrors a lot of the dating challenges that modern men face today. I covered those mouse Utopia experiments in a previous video, and you need to watch it immediately if you haven't already. It will teach you a lot. Drawing parallels with the eerie insights from those mouse Utopia experiments, we're going to unravel the underlying currents that mirror the contemporary challenges that so many men face in the dating world today. But fear not, because we're not mere bystanders in our narrative. We're not just vaulting mindlessly into destruction. We are change makers. We're pioneers carving a path that's enriched with learning, adaptation, and fostering relationships that are not only fulfilling to us, but also resonate with the authentic essence of love. So, without further ado, let's get started. Now, in our pivotal era, we stand at a crossroads of transformation. We're embracing a revolutionary approach to new relationships. As we steer through a dense fog of the modern dating issues and challenges, echoes of that mouse Utopia experiment reverberate here, painting that canvas of social decay, and unfortunately it mirrors very strongly many aspects of the contemporary dating sphere. The challenges are many, from navigating the labyrinthine world of online dating to understanding the nuanced language of modern relationships. A lot of men find themselves in the eye of a storm. They often are unsure and disillusioned, and frankly, they're not wrong for feeling that way. But fear not. The clear pill is here. It's a beacon of light in the darkness. It has been for me as I formed my relationship with my now wife. We've been together for 15 years. It helps other people that I talk to. I have taught it to thousands and thousands of men. I am happy to teach it to you. This approach offers a sanctuary. It's a path illuminated with wisdom and insight, steering clear of the red pill's isolationist tendencies and the blue pill's naive optimism that often culminates in disillusionment and emptiness, right? Red pill, blue pill, both are going to lead you to misery. Instead, the clear pill approach champions a renaissance in dating to foster a culture where genuine connections can thrive, and they're grounded in reality, mutual respect, and profound understanding. This invites men to lean into a smarter, more insightful dating method. A method devoid of manipulative tendencies. None. And no empty promises. You're going to have nurturing relationships instead that are robust and fulfilling and safe. Now, in the labyrinth of modern dating, where ambiguity and confusion reign supreme, and they do, the clear pill is going to emerge as a guiding force that's going to help you. It's going to encourage all of you men out there, I hope, and it does, all the men that I teach this to foster better connections that are deep, genuine, and grounded in empathy and understanding. This is an invitation to transcend the superficialness of our world that often characterizes modern dating, to be honest with you. It's terrible. And instead, we're going to venture into a realm where relationships are nurtured with that respect, authenticity, and a deep sense of connection. This is not a bunch of fluff. It's about getting results together in a loving couple where you're connected by more than just feelings. This is about building a legacy together with a bond that can last a lifetime. Red pill and blue pill are not going to get you that. Sorry, they're not going to. As we traverse this transformative journey, we will find ourselves armed with the tools that we need to cultivate relationships that resonate with depth and substance. I have taught you so many new mental approaches for yourself and for your relationships in previous videos, and those pieces, those skills are going to be crucial for taking this next step into better dating. This is my 3-date method. A method that's revered by dating professionals globally, by the way, and it promises to revolutionize the way that individuals approach their potential partners to foster real connections that resonate with authenticity and depth. So, as we venture further, let's discuss this new method that has not only earned accolades from dating professionals and dating coaches I work with, nationally renowned dating experts, but has the power to transform the very way that we perceive and approach potential partners. I call this my 3-date method. So, by now, watching this channel and learning here and everything you've done, you've mastered the art of nurturing yourself, I hope. Of protecting your mind and focusing on what truly matters in relationships. That's the goal of a lot of this attachment work. And now you hopefully have forged a robust network of people around you. I've done tons of videos on building family connections, building friend connections, getting yourself into a community. That creates a platform that will aid you in finding and filtering potential partners, and that can steer you toward becoming the best version of yourself. Now, the journey doesn't end there, you guys. That's not, all right, you've built your family system, go off, find somebody to marry. No, now it's time to talk about what dating is supposed to look like. I'm talking human evolution, and how to get commitment in those first 3 dates. For this next part, I'm going to assume that you found somebody, anybody. They may come from your network or from your job. Maybe it's an old friend. Maybe you hire a matchmaker. Maybe you get lucky and you find the right guy or girl on a dating website. I have talked at length in previous videos about how to find a girlfriend or how to find a boyfriend, how to use dating apps, in a smarter way, how to cold approach. If you want to stop, go back, check out how to actually get a girlfriend on this channel. Stop, go back, check out how to get a boyfriend on this channel. I have how to get a girlfriend as a video course. I have tons of material to show you that. This is the first 3 dates once you have found any human being who's going to go on a date with you. You just have to find one. So, let's assume that you find that one human being to take on a date. Once you find someone, and you know that you are ready for love, how do you make sure that they're the right person within those first 3 dates? If you aren't sure what dating's supposed to look like, or if talking about commitment scares you, it's time to fix that. So what I'm about to share with you is what I teach not only, like I said, to my own clients, but also other dating coaches as well. I've worked with dating professionals who go on national media, teaching other people how to date better. And in private, they learn their tips from me. This 3-date method that you're about to learn changes the way professionals advise their own clients. And now it's going to change the way that you filter your partners. So the first 3 dates are absolutely crucial to figuring out not only if the other person is right or wrong for you, but how deep that compatibility really goes. It's not a complete picture, and you're still going to need to filter over the first year for a better idea. We'll talk about that later. But the first 3 dates can help you filter the majority of good or bad matches, but only if you do them right. So here's what you need to do on each date. The first date, the goal is to determine if you're compatible at the very first level. So the question to ask here is, are you looking for commitment like I am? An example of how to phrase this, right? You get to the end of the first date and you talk to the other, you're having a great time. You're talking, you're having fun, you're laughing. It's been an hour, 2 hours, something like that. Maybe you're over dinner, maybe you're playing mini golf. I have no idea. But whatever the first date is, you stop at the end of the first date and you say something along these lines. Hey, just to make sure we're on the same page, I'm looking for long-term commitment. We don't have to get married right now, but I do want to make sure that we are looking for the same thing. So if you're looking for commitment too, wonderful. Let's have a second date. By the way, this is how you go in for that second date ask. If not, no harm done. Let's finish our dinner and we'll part as friends. We'll high five. So what are you looking for? Now here's why you must do this. Stop wasting your time. Most couples don't have this talk until a year into the relationship or 5 years into the relationship. Then they stay, even if the other person isn't ready, because they feel they've lost too much time already to duck out now. It's better to wait and wait and wait. That's why I get so many women, especially, who come to me after 8 years of dating the same guy, and they ask, Adam, do you think he's ever going to be ready to talk about moving in together? The answer is no, usually. Very rarely. Very rarely. That's why most people break up at 8 years if they're going to have that pattern. It's not impossible, but it's rough. And people will say, when I tell them this, Adam, isn't this going to get me rejected? No. Men who want commitment also think that women will reject them for asking about commitment on the first date. Men are petrified that women are not going to be interested in commitment. Women tell me the same thing. I can't mention commitment on the first date. Men won't love that. Men and women are both terrified of mentioning commitment first. It's a weird game of chicken. Now, I'll tell you this. You are not trying to attract all men and women to you. You're especially not trying to attract the ones who just want casual fun. You are trying to attract men and women who want commitment. Filter correctly for that by finding those men and women who crave long-term commitment like you do. That means filtering on the first date. Slip this question, like I said, into the second half of the date. It does not have to be a brutal interrogation. Just ask it and make sure, and then move on. So really quick, let's check where you're at with this. In the comments below, please list the top 3 things that you must see or hear on a first date to tell you that somebody's worth a second date. Guys and ladies, I would love to hear from both of you so that everybody else can jump into the comments and read them obsessively. The first few people watching this, sorry, you're not going to have that data. Come back and you get some. But everybody, leave the 2 or 3 things you need to see on a first date to want a second date. Okay? No body parts, please. Hopefully, you can include commitment as one of those top 2 or 3 things. Now, use these 3 things you're looking for as a guide for the future when you reflect after a first date, right? Now, on the second date, the goal here is to determine if you're compatible at the second level. Now, the question to ask is, you could say something like, this value is really important to me. Hey, you know what? Honesty is really important to me. What about you? Or I want to build this goal in my life. What's your life goal? These are really, really blunt versions of it. There's other examples how to phrase this. Most people tell stories on their dates, for example. Stories that illuminate truths about them. You tell a story about when you were honest, or why you were honest, or how important honesty is to you, or someone that told you the truth that meant something to you. You tell stories about honesty that illuminate why it's so important to you, or you tell stories about your life goals, about your schoolwork that you're doing right now toward a goal, you're building your brand, whatever it is. It's really important to tell these stories about you. That's why we say, tell me about yourself. We're inviting the other person to share stories that teach us. Most world religions teach through stories. Most oral traditions before writing taught through stories. Most traditions even after writing, they teach through stories. Humans learn best through stories, and we love stories. We're programmed for it. I got 4 kids. You can't stop the stories in this house. It's hard. Use this to share stories with your dates about times you've upheld core values. Tell stories about how you're pursuing your life goal. Tell stories about how you overcame challenges, maybe using your principles. Tell stories about how somebody came through for you that really impressed you so they know what you value. Pay attention, by the way, to the other person's stories too. Are they just telling you stories to try to look impressive or to rush you into bed with flattery and attraction? Or are they sharing stories about values and goals? Let me tell you about the time I bought my 5th Bugatti. No, probably not. But hey, let me tell you about when I met my best friend, why we are best friends. Right? Here's what I value about them. That's a story you can learn a lot about. So why you must do this? Your goals and values make you the most compatible. They're your defining features as a person. Your hobbies, your feelings, they're not really helpful for that. You need to make sure the person you're dating has lots of green flags. And those green flags are in their character, their values, and their long-term life mission. Check for those by listening closely to the stories they tell you. And that helps you scan them by sharing your own stories. And you can really learn a lot through these stories, you guys. You'll learn a lot about their relationships too, and how they treat people, and how they act, how they view relationships. You will learn so much by hearing lessons and stories from someone's life. Stories are lessons. Do this. People will say at this point, but Adam, they'll think I'm boring if I talk about values and goals. No, they're going to think you're boring if you pull up a PowerPoint presentation on the goals you have and how the other person needs to fit into them, or else. This only has to be a dry conversation with bullet points if you make it a dry conversation. Share stories that make the other person laugh or feel, but in the right ways. You're not trying to make a person believe that you're amazing in bed, for example, but that you're honest, especially when it hurts. That's what a good person is really looking for. Share stories that illuminate who you really are. And check their stories for compatible goals and compatible values. If you don't hear those things, you're welcome to mention that. You can ask for stories that show you what you're looking for. This second level of the date, the second date, is really important to determine if the other person is actually looking for commitment, like they claimed on the first date, or if they're really just here for fun and feelings. They just think they want commitment. So let's check in. In the comments below, could you list the top 3 things you have to see or hear on a second date to tell you that a person is worth a third date? Make sure one of those stories, those pieces, is that they respect your core values. They're not going to violate those. They're like, yes, I lied to this dude and I stole money from a blind man and I kicked his dog. No, like, what are good stories that you'd want to hear? What are some things you want to hear in stories? Tell me that. Or if you don't have that, tell me somebody that told you a great story that showed you who they were. Give me an example. I want to hear that too. Use this info here as a guide for the future when you reflect after a second date. Now, date number 3. The goal here is to determine if you're compatible at the third level. So the questions to ask are, can you accept my baggage? Can I accept your baggage? Are we ready to be exclusive? We'll get to these. I know, don't hyperventilate yet. There's examples of how to phrase this. Hey, you know what? I'm having a really great time with you. We're talking about commitment. Let me be real about myself. Here's what you know here's what you need to know about me, and here's what you might need to accept about me. Here's my red flags. Here's some of my baggage. Now, here's why you have to do this. People spend the first 7 months in a relationship often being fake, especially avoidant people or anxious people. Then it's 5 months of arguing and growing apart, only to break up at 1 year. Now, that's a wasted year of fake feelings and fake images. You can cut through all that garbage by being upfront about your own red flags. These are your own flaws or your baggage that you're currently working through that could affect the other person as your partner. You're going to challenge them, by the way, to do the same. Yes, you're going to challenge them to open up and be real about their own issues so that you aren't blindly walking into a landmine either. Then you decide if you're ready to accept each other as partners and go exclusive. Now, people ask me about this. Adam, isn't this way too soon? Why would I show my red flags? This is horrible. Wait a minute. It's only too soon. Number one, if you want to waste a year playing a guessing game and get blindsided by a secret porn addiction or some horrible problem that they have or that they're avoidant, they're going to pull away and reject you later. If you're going to get blindsided, sure, don't do it this soon. But if you want to get rejected later on, when they find out that you're not who they thought you were, or they're not who you thought they were, yeah, stick to this. But please, please, don't do that. Because with this method, you can't hide anymore. Neither can they. This proves that both of you were actually commitment-minded and value transparency and honesty. So somewhere by the end of the third date, you should be talking about, okay, let me tell you about this thing I experienced. You know, I'm overcoming something called avoidant attachment. It makes me kind of separate out when there's a conflict. I tend to pull into myself. I go quiet. I just try to solve problems alone. And it's hard for me to ask for what needs to get met. I am fixing it. I'm fixing it with my family. I'm fixing it with my friends. And I am going to make sure I take care of it here. So if you see me do X, Y, or Z, that's what's happening. Just tell me about it and I will take care of it. What you've done there is turn your red flag into a green flag. Hey, here's what you need to know. Here's the bad thing about me. I'm actually working on it. I have accountability in it, and I take ownership of it. You don't even have to fix it in me. Just tell me you see it, and I will fix it. And I'm self-aware, and I've done my own work. It's a pretty good green flag, you guys, especially in modern dating. So by the end of this date, you should know that both of you are looking for commitment. You should know that you've proven that by sharing those stories that show values and life goals. And you've really proven it by being open on both sides and real about the issues that you receive. And you receive informed consent from your partner that this is okay. We're going to build a great relationship. And they should be sharing theirs as well. Listen to see if they can share their baggage. No, I'm perfect. No, I'm just too rich. You know, whatever it is. It's like a job interview. Can you share a legitimate weakness that you are working on? And what's the story? Telling a story as you're working on it and solving that weakness. How are you doing? Do you take ownership? Do you just run away? Do you run screaming from the table? Can you not share a weakness? Are you too shy? Or are you honest and on the surface about it? This is a great test of the other person too, and they'll probably tell it through story form. Now, at this point, if you can share mutual baggage and trust each other, and you share stories about values and mission, and you're both looking for commitment, you've been talking about it since the first date, you probably are ready to go exclusive at this point, by the way, to put a label on it and to start working toward deeper commitment as a couple, especially if you've had one date a week or, 10 days of this process. You could talk about going exclusive. You're not getting married, right, you guys? You're not getting married. You're not getting engaged. You're just going exclusive. This is a good thing that you could do. So in the comments below, I want to hear from you. I'm sure you have an opinion on this, but please list the top 3 things you have to see or hear on a third date that would tell you a person's worth committing to. These might include honesty about their red flags, or acceptance of your challenges, or curiosity about you. Use these pieces as a guide for the future when you reflect after a third date. You now have data on all 3 dates for how to reflect on each time. So here's how to tell when you're ready. Get comfortable with this 3-date approach. You can practice with some of your friends by having these talks with them if you need to. That'll build attachment and build connection. Have these talks. They're not really romantic-minded talks. I mean, commitment maybe, but the other 2 pieces are not really romantically minded. Practice the conversations till they roll naturally off your tongue and you can phrase them in a way that feels comfortable and easy. It doesn't have to be an interrogation. It shouldn't be. This should be part of a fun series of talks that bonds the 2 of you as you go. This is about having fun on your date, but building a relationship at the same time. All right, you guys, that is my 3-date method. And that's how to date after you take the clear pill. Watch this video a few times, take notes on what you need to do and ask and how to phrase it. If you use this method, though, you're going to end up like a lot of my clients, sending me happy wedding photos. I love those photos. I get them all the time. So as you know, our journey today does not have to end right here. If you got the curiosity bug like I do, there's a treasure trove of cool stuff just waiting for you right now to dive into right here on this channel. Have you ever heard about the mouse Utopia experiments? They will make you pee your pants in fear. It's a wild ride, and I've broken it down in a way that's going to blow your mind, or maybe give you a fresh perspective on your own society. Check out that video here on this channel. And hey, you know what? I get it. The red pill mentality can be like a maze with no exit for some guys. But you know what? I've got your back. I have laid out some killer insights and strategies that can help you break free from that mind-twisting cycle. And it is all about forging connections that are real and authentic, you know? Next, let's talk about love. If you are on the hunt to find that amazing girl who clicks with you, I've got the perfect series lined up for you right here with my How to Actually Get a Girlfriend video. Trust me, with the right approach and a sprinkle of Adam wisdom, you're set to navigate the dating scene like a pro. Ladies, I also have How to Get a Boyfriend here on this channel. Check that out. You're going to enjoy it. Please remember that this channel is your go-to space for all things relationships, attachment, and navigating the complexities of a human being in this wild, wild world. We're in this together. We're learning, we're growing, and heck, maybe even stumbling a little bit. But you know what? That's all part of the journey, right? So thanks for hanging with me today. You guys are the reason I keep digging into these topics. I'm Adam Lane Smith, your friendly neighborhood attachment specialist. I've been watching a lot of Spider-Man lately. And I'm saying, see you in the next video.